Yo, what is going on, my YouTube people? 2999 back with another video, and in today's video we're going to be previewing and predicting the UCL round of 16. And I haven't actually done a UEFA Champions League video in so long, so I thought it would be a good idea to bring it back. There's not that much going on in the world of football at this current moment in time, so I'm like, you know what, let's bring back one of the classics of the channel. These predictions and preview videos is something that you guys have enjoyed a lot over the past, so let's bring it back here. We're in this knockout phase, new UEFA Champions League format. I'm not going to be doing the Europa League and Conference League in this video. I'm going to be doing strictly the UEFA Champions League. I'm going to go more in depth about the matches that are going to be played. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to smash that subscribe button and like the video as well. It helps so much. It helps a lot. So for you guys to be doing that, it just means a lot for me. So if you guys want to join my socials, my Discord, TikTok, Twitter, X, Instagram, all those links will be down in the description for you guys, like always. And without further ado, let's start it. The first game we're going to be talking about is Arsenal versus PSV. That's a very interesting game because although on paper, I think the favorites are very obviously going to be Arsenal, I wouldn't necessarily count PSV out. I think they've been quite decent. They've narrowly lost to Juventus 2-1, and then they actually ended up beating Juventus 3-1. And I know also Juventus isn't in the best of moods right now, but they also beat a Liverpool. I know it was a very rotated Liverpool squad, but I genuinely do believe PSV do have what it takes to shock this Arsenal side. So I think this game is going to be a lot closer than what people think it's going to be. Nevertheless, we're now entering an Arsenal team that has a lot of injuries. They don't have a striker. The average is everyone's injured. Quite literally, everyone is injured in that team. So it's a bit tough on them. And I'm curious to see how Mikel Arteta is going to be working with that. I'm curious to see what type of lineups he's going to bring. I'm going to be curious to see what type of players he's going to bring in for a game like that. But this could be a shock of the tournament. We could be seeing PSV going through. And as much as I love Kai Havertz, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I do like the player. You guys know it on this channel if you've been watching me for a while now. I do think this is a match where I genuinely do believe PSV have what it takes. But then do I want to go for the boring route and still go at Arsenal that will find a way? But over two legs without some of their main players, it's so hard to tell. I think this is going to be a shock. I'm going to go with my first shock already in my first game. I think PSV is going to win. That's going to be a mad prediction if it does happen. But again, if Arsenal does win, it is to be expected. So it's going to be a very fun matchup. But I do think PSV do have what it takes to go through. The next game I'm going to go is going to be the Madrid derby. That's pretty cool. Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid. That is a very interesting one as well because this is a classic. We've seen this matchup a million times, and most of the time it would be Real Madrid going in through, but we're entering a phase in La Liga where Real Madrid are being kind of weird. They're winning their games. Sometimes they're not winning the games. It's very tight at the La Liga table with Barca, Atletico Madrid, and Real Madrid. Those are the three teams that are constantly battling now, which is very, very exciting. But this Real Madrid side, for me, to be honest with you guys, haven't been really promising, especially in the group stages. I didn't really like how Real Madrid was, and I thought they were very open. On the other side, I think Atletico Madrid were just a much better side. They just look so threatening. The counterattacks, the players, Julian Alvarez, Griezmann, these guys look very good. The last time that they played against each other was actually not that long ago. It was in February. They played Real Madrid. That game ended up in a 1-1 draw. The thing that I don't like about this whole Real Madrid situation is you guys know how lucky they are in tournaments. Not lucky per se, but they sometimes do get their own way. That's the Real Madrid. That's how they've always been. That is also a factor that I'd like to put in. But purely from a footballing standpoint, I do think Atletico Madrid at the moment might be the better team. But how Real Madrid are in this Champions League, this is their tournament, the Champions League. They run it, Real Madrid. Let's be honest with ourselves, as much as you'd hate to say it or love to say it. They do run this competition. They've been there a million times. I think, however, purely from a football standpoint, I think Atletico Madrid is going to win, but barely. I don't think it's... I'm looking at the odds, and Real Madrid are the favorites by a mile, which I don't really understand why. I think it's going to be a very close game, what I think Atletico Madrid being to finally be able to edge it towards the end. But at the same time, we're seeing players like Kylian Mbappe that's on form. Maybe that can affect it. Maybe Mbappe can be that big guy, just like he was against Manchester City. This is something that we're going to have to wait and see. Next up, we've got Paris Saint-Germain and Liverpool. this is another very interesting. The last two games were interesting too. But Paris Saint-Germain have kind of gone a lot upwards recently, I feel like, compared to how they started in the beginning of the season. They weren't that great in the Champions League. They kind of had that turnaround where I think you've got players like Ousmane Dembele, who's been very, very good. Liverpool, on the other side, though, they've been a little bit... They haven't been bad. They just haven't been the Liverpool they were in the first half. But I still think Liverpool is going to get away with it. It's going to be very, very close. And also, it's very important to see where the games are going to be. The first leg is in Paris. So Liverpool would finish at home. So maybe that can be something for them if they can get a result in this first leg. I will give it to Liverpool just because I think they've been the better team. And I think they do have what it takes to go all the way to the final. They're one of my favorites to win it. So I'll go with Liverpool, but it would be very, very close, I think. Next up would be Club Brugge and Aston Villa. This is, I feel, a fixture that's going to be slept on by a lot of people because of the other matches. But Club Brugge, these guys, it's funny. Club Brugge is a club that have been decent in the league. They're second, where you would usually expect them to be first. Actually, surprisingly, 9 points below Genk, which is... I'm not an expert of Belgian football, but Club Brugge is usually seen as that team that always wins it every year. But against an Aston Villa side that has just lost John Duran, Aston Villa have been so fun to watch. They've beaten my team Bayern Munich. They've signed players like Marco Asensio, Marcus Rashford, Donian Malen. So I'm excited to see how they're going to perform. Club Brugge, the way they've been in the Champions League, I mean, they destroyed that Atalanta side. They were completely dominant in that, especially in the second leg where there was that whole meltdown with that red card of Rafael Toloi. But in all seriousness, I think, genuinely speaking, I do believe that Club Brugge do have a chance, but I think Aston Villa, with the quality that they have and just how good they've been, I'm going to edge this one towards Aston Villa. And also, I would like to see them go through because they've been very, very exceptional. We go to the other side of the bracket. We go with Benfica and Barcelona. This is one of the easier ties to predict with all the respect to Benfica. I think Barcelona have been, they're the first or second best team in the world. No doubt. It hurts me to say it because I'm a Bayern fan. But you got to be honest, these guys have been amazing. Benfica could be that team that sort of shocks them, but I just don't see it happening. I really, really don't. I think Barcelona under Hansi Flick looks so dangerous. And as long as they do what they have to do, I think they'll get past this Benfica side quite easily. Next up, we've got Borussia Dortmund and Lille. This is interesting because Borussia Dortmund are struggling so much in the league. But Champions League-wise, I think they've been terrific. You've got a goal scorer like Serhou Guirassy, who's just been on absolute fire, who's doing everything. But then you've got a Lille side that's got Jonathan David, who's also been very, very good. It's a little bit of an up and down with Lille. I'm not too sure. They won 6-1 against Feyenoord. But I'm looking at this Dortmund side. It's so weird because they're so poor in the Bundesliga. And I think that's going to catch up to them at one point. And I think this is where Lille is going to knock out Borussia Dortmund. That's what I think. Next up, we've got Bayern Munich and Bayer Leverkusen. As I've mentioned, I'm a Bayern fan, and it was between them or Atletico Madrid, if I'm not mistaken. Thank God we've got Leverkusen, because I think out of the two teams, I think we do stand a chance against Leverkusen. I know the last game that ended 0-0, we did not play well. We played some horrible ball that ended up working, getting that 1 point. But if there is one team that we can beat, in my opinion, to go through, I think it would be Leverkusen. And thank God it wasn't a team that was on paper stronger. But I'm not convinced with Vincent Kompany. I've tweeted about this multiple times. I've said it. I think he's doing a good job in the Bundesliga, but I think he's not it in the Champions League. He's not the manager that can take us to the final. As for my prediction, this is tough. This is very, very tough. I'm obviously going to back my team and say Bayern Munich, but it's going to be so close. It might even go beyond full time. We're just going to have to wait and see, but it's definitely going to be those games that I don't think I'm going to enjoy watching. Next up, we've got Feyenoord and Inter Milan. This is another tie that I think is a lot more self-explanatory. And I know Feyenoord had that big win against Bayern Munich, but they just haven't been good in the league, have they, as well? Not that they've been bad, they're third place, but compared to how good they were previous seasons, they've struggled a lot more. They've just now appointed Robin van Persie, so maybe that's going to be a big change. But I'm looking at this Inter side, which for me was also another favorite going into this tournament. I think Inter Milan will get the better of Feyenoord. What do you guys think about these predictions and previews? Do you guys agree with them, disagree with them? Let me know down in the comment section down below. And that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, all my socials will be down in the description for you guys to check out. Subscribe, like the video as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Damn, I'm on red alert. Else you went
up in the dirt like